Hello everybody, my name is Dusty and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about probably the hardest thing I've ever done in the hobby, and that's attempting to breed ghost shrimp. During the summer, I wanted to do something that I didn't think a lot of people I knew were doing, and that was breed ghost shrimp, and I had kind of looked up how to do it. I really didn't go in depth because, I mean, they're ghost shrimp. You don't really think about it that often. While I was setting up the tank and doing everything for it, I set it up, I cycled it, I was like, this is going to be great, it's going to work out so well, I'm really excited, and then it happened. The day came, I picked out the shrimp. Well, I didn't pick them out, I went to my local fish store. They had just received a big shipment of shrimp. I said I'll take a dozen because it was like a dozen for like $2. They said okay. They gave me about 20 actually, because they just put a giant scoop in and scooped out all the ghost shrimp that I thought I needed. They put them in a bag and gave them to me. So I took those ghost shrimp home, I floated them in the tank, and then I added them in, thinking, yeah, it's not going to be a big deal, it is what it is, it's going to be great. I had a filter in there, I had a heater, I had an aerator. I'll put a picture right here-ish of the setup. It wasn't complete in this picture, it was just when I finished putting in the rock, the gravel, and the tube. So I thought it was going to be amazing. I thought I was going to make so much money off of this, you know, because anything a person does makes a lot of money, right? Well, it's ghost shrimp time. Now, let me remind you that when I put this tank together, I added fresh water into the tank. That was probably the first thing I did wrong in this scenario, but I'll tell you about what I did wrong after. I put the ghost shrimp in, they were doing relatively well. I was feeding them cucumbers, throwing in algae wafers, it was fine. They seemed to be doing fine. A few of them would die off here and there. I mean, when you have a large quantity like that in a small tank, it tends to happen. The fish store I got them from really didn't quarantine any of them. There were a lot of dead ones in the tank. It's not like I could quarantine these fish, and they were these ghost shrimp, and they were going to be all together anyway. So I put them in, and I started treating them all as a collective rather than individuals. So I left for the 4th of July for a week. I had put floating cucumbers in there for them. I made sure the water levels were fine. My mother was taking care of my other fish. I told her not to worry about that tank, don't touch it, because I don't want anything bad to happen. I came back, and all of the shrimp were dead. Okay, not all of them, all but 4 were dead. And that kind of like throws you back for a second, because you thought you were doing so well in this. And to this day, I don't know what actually killed them. It could have been a lot. I was gone for a week. It could have been nearly anything. So I don't know exactly killed them, but let me tell you where I went wrong. The first way I went wrong was I didn't do enough research. I just simply assumed that they belonged in fresh water, that they would breed in fresh water, and they would all be fine because of their size. I didn't think anything of it, and I figured they were cheap, so it is what it is. But the issue was after this all happened, I started looking up ghost shrimp more, and I found out they need brackish water to breed. And then I realized that I had the water temperature wrong, and I overfed them, and all these little things that just kind of like hit you in the face, like, oh god, I really did do all that wrong. And it's not like you can go back and fix it either, because at this point it's all gone. So I had to sit there and deal with my mistake. I moved the remainder of the ghost shrimp into my 20-gallon long tank with my goldfish and my mono shrimp, and they're still alive. All of them are still alive. So like, it's just one of those things that happen when you're in the hobby and you're experimenting to try to figure out what works and what doesn't work. But I think the moral of this story is that you should do your research before you try to do something. I really didn't do my research on ghost shrimp. I really didn't think anything of it until it was too late and I had lost all of them. But it still kind of hurts. It sets you back in the hobby because you're like, whoa, what could I have done so wrong that everything in that tank died? And then you realize that it happens and that mistakes are made and that you learn from them and you move on. So that was kind of my little story about my failure with breeding ghost shrimp. Of course, there are probably details that I forgot to mention in there somewhere, but it just does go to show you that research, a little bit of research, does go a long way, and that if you are attempting to do something like that, just read up a little bit, ask questions, don't be afraid to watch videos on it and figure out exactly what you're doing before you do it. There's no shame in asking for help. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned from my mistakes, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.